Okay, good morning, everyone. I've figured out how to work my computer now with OBS, so I wanted to do a quick tutorial, about 5 or 10 minutes, just to show you the basics of the PAM indicator. So as you can see, this is on Wednesday at 1:30. First thing I'm looking at is like, okay, look, I have a squeeze down here, right? So I use Squeeze Pro, you can use TTM Squeeze, and then I also make sure that I'm looking at relative volume to see if there's a significant move coming. Relative volume set at 2, so anything above 2, that's a pretty significant move to me. And as you can see, I want to get into the squeeze before the squeeze fires, about 2 bars. That's always preferable. So what happened is this price action goes up, it tests, and I'm using SADI ATR levels. I've removed my levels off the chart because I don't want it to be confusing. You can use SADI ATR levels all day long with this indicator. They work well together. And so price action came here. It set a new low. And this is on the 5-minute. So on a 5-minute, this would have been a new low, as you can see right here. New low. Actually came down slightly below what this was. So it repainted, and it gave you where you're going to take your calls once it gets out of this solid line. So price action came up, and you can see there's a 1348 EMA cross, as I always talk about, and it goes up, comes back down, and then it opens right here. Here's your signal, right? And you even got an arrow. So price action moves up, moves up, moves up, moves up, comes back down. It never even tests the 13 EMA, so I'm staying in this trade. Goes up, 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 comes back. It does test the 13 EMA, but it rejects. And it does a little consolidation right here and continues to move higher. As it moved higher, it made a new high. So right here's your new high. PAM saw it, painted a box, and said, oh, hey, if we break below here, you need to get in this trade. So here's your stop loss. If you get into this trade, here's your stop loss. And as you can see, once we closed, you enter here. And if you even enter right here, you're getting almost a, what is that, 2-point move, right? So, I mean, you got to get in as soon as this is about to close. You want to get in, and you can experience this full drop. And what I saw like over here is, look at how we got into the squeeze about 3 bars early. So the squeeze fired on this bar, and you can see that energy release. Look at the volume. My volume's painted in the background. I don't really use it, but you can see the relative volume went up to almost 5. And so that was a massive move. And we knew that it was real, and it went and it went and it went. And then PAM said, okay, we're done. And it started to reverse. And it went down, tested a SADI ATR level, and I'm getting out right here because look, I have a rejection. I have multiple rejections. I'm out of this position. I don't trade it anymore. I've already made a good, 2 points off this move. Why do I want to stay in it? And if you look where Pam's stop loss was, it was way up here. And if you wanted to stay in that trade and you could withstand the swings, you could have. Because look, she never goes down, and you could have grabbed, even, yeah, no, you wouldn't want to stay in that move because actually, yeah, because we still went down more. But like I said, I would have been out back here, especially on this wick. We were almost testing the 48. I'm totally out. But I would have been out down here no matter what. So this line right here is your entry line. This line up here is your stop loss line. If you go above this line, even if it breaks it, I usually get out because that means that the the trend is not going to reverse. It was just a retracement and you need to get out. So again, 5-minute. Now if we're using a 3-minute on this right here, you're going to see this bar right here be your entry signal, and look at that drop. But I like to use the higher time frames to see that time warp. So I know that, it's just a longer time frame, and I'm going to get my entries at the lower time frames. I typically use the 15-minute, but I'm showing you on a 3-minute because it's just a much easier. Now this is after hours trading now, so this would have not been anything important. We wouldn't have touched this anyway, but you can see how PAM still calls out massive drops, and then look at this swing just after hours trading. Look at that. I mean, all the way up here, just really doesn't do a lot of false breakouts. Again, down here, and then we're getting close to market open in that morning, and look at that. If you're an after hours trader, you can't get better than that. Now here's one where it looks like it's double painted, but PAM fires here, goes down, and then you get another signal that says, hey, you need to buy. And you buy, and it goes all the way up. So this is at market open, about at 36 minutes into it. You get the signal on the 5-minute. It gives you this big wick. Look at the crossover. There's your crossover. You go up. You go up and up and up. So that's a good 3 to 4 point move. And I got one of my levels on here that I use, but I'll take that off because it's either distracting. But the levels are good. And so we went up, and then Pam says, "Oh, hey, you need to get into a position right here." Is where she told you. Get into that position. Well, look at that. We almost hit that stop loss, and that's what I'm saying. This is the indicator that prevents you from those fake outs. If you had you're going to lose some premium. You're going to lose a little bit in that option contract once you start going up. But then, as you see, we dip below, and again, another at least 80-cent move. And if you're a scalper, that's more than enough. Here it is again. So in the 5-minute time frame, we made a lower low on a 5-minute candle. This would have been it right here. That's why it's giving you from the stop of this one all the way to the top. And here's your stop loss line, and here's your entry. So it says, hey, enter right here. I closed above, even though I broke down, close above. Oh, I closed above. So take calls. Oh, we're not breaking our stop loss line. I'm also looking at that 48, right? So we're rejecting off that 48. And a lot of times you will go through this 13 and find support at the 48. And that's what happened here. And we just kept going up. Once again, we never go below this 48. And that's significant to me. I will stay in a trade unless I see us go below that 48. Once we start going below the 48, we know that we're getting close to losing that trend. And so we get in here about 416.50, and we go all the way up to 418.31. And look, you see a reversal candle right here. I mean, this is classic reversal signal. And so PAM recognizes it, drops it off, and once we hit this signal, you're looking, your EMA is pointing down, right? What did I talk about? Your EMA needs to be pointing down for you to get in that put signal. And right here, that EMA is pointing down. And she actually calls the crossover before the crossover actually occurs. But if you're in this trade, even if you get in right here, or in this candle, you beat that EMA crossover and you start at 417. Let's just say you start at 417.41. You go all the way down to right there. And that's about 413.20. So that's a 4-point move. And then what happens next? Well, 5-minute indicator tells you to take a call, right? So you're going to take your call right here because you're all the way up here. This candle does come back down, and you see that, but you take that call and you put your stop loss right here. And does it ever hit your stop loss? No. Then it breaks above your entry line again, and it goes right back up to 417. That's 8 points in one day in about an hour and a half move. And then it goes down. And, this is just the way the indicator works. It's especially on these moves right here, man. And that's why I tell you to trade from, which I'm on Central Time, but 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Well, that's a 2-hour move, but 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. I always say that is uh, an extra session. 1 p.m. Central to 4 p.m. Uh, or 1 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern is a new session. And then you start trading from 8:30 to noon Eastern. Treat those two as two different sessions because that's what they are. You have the London Exchange closing during the first session, and then you have the closing of the New York Stock Exchange in the second session. So that's it. I wanted to keep it very simple. Just look for these 13s and then, your 48s. Um, as I said, PAM caught it before the crossover again. Anyway, that's a quick tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will make more. Just leave some comments and let me know what you'd like to see.